I've slept in my car for years, and I still wake up grateful. So here's why I'll never quit. What's up, y'all? It's Taj the Rapping Detailer, and I'm back at you again with another video. Listen, I've been carrying this regimen, this routine that I've been on probably for about 11, 12 years or so. And I can remember when I had no discipline. I can remember when I was waking up at 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I can remember when I really didn't have anything to live for other than going to work and get my paycheck. I can remember when all I did was live for hanging out with my friends. When all I did was live for waking up, playing the game. All I did was waking up, doing a bunch of illegal activities, blowing wherever the wind took me, and then complaining about not being where I wanted to be. To keep it real, I didn't really have a vision. I didn't have a vision for my life. And unfortunately, I was forced to sit down. I was forced and sent away. And what I discovered when I got sent away, I discovered discipline. I discovered routines. I discovered consistency. I discovered health. And I mean real health. Because when you get sent away, you're basically eating state food. You're basically confined into an area around a bunch of people whom are trouble. Around a bunch of people who you basically have no commonality with other than the fact that you're in the same places. The fact that you have to share the same spaces. And then there could be other commonalities like, y'all being the same race, same gender. But really, everybody's dealing with different things. It's a mental health facility, They talk about protecting your mental health when you're out here on the outside world, but when you're shipped away on the inside, that's when you really have to learn to protect your health and your wealth. Because health is wealth. So while I was away, a big part of me was writing music. I've had this gift of writing music for a long time. And it really started with battle rap. And these battle raps turned into punchline raps. And these punchline raps turned into recognition. And this recognition turned into keep going. Turned into challenges. People wanted to challenge me all the time because they heard I was nice and they wanted to test how nice I was. So, I got put in the fire. I jumped out there. I did my thing. So when you're put into a place where you can no longer roam free and do your thing, you have to learn how to survive. Not many people are able to get sent away or go into another environment and survive. The truth is, a lot of people get consumed by the beast. The beast will consume you if you don't take care of your mental health. The beast will consume you. And when I talk about the beast, you're talking about peer pressure, and you're talking about your environment just taking over. Because believe it or not, your environment has a lot to do with your elevation in life. A lot of people stay stuck in life because they hold on to an identity that is toxic. A lot of people stay stuck in life because they hold on to an identity that the people around them attach to them. So it's a must when you get placed in confinement. It's a must that you do things and that you associate with people who help you elevate, who help you to ascend in life. Because the normality of life is to adjust. The normality of life is to conform. You'd be surprised, it starts from grade school. It actually starts from before grade school, because your parents and your siblings or cousins or whoever you're around when you're just a toddler, they influence you. They influence you on your language. They influence you on your music. They influence you on the programs that you watch with your eyes. And all of this shapes how you think. And as we all know, your thinking determines your actions. So in these confined areas, it can be very negative. It can be extremely negative to the point where you're not only destroying yourself, you start to destroy other people. But what I've had to do is to learn to love other people like I love myself. And when you start to love yourself, really love yourself, then you learn that other people are just a reflection of yourself. So how I've learned to be grateful, how I've learned to continue to move forward, how I've learned this self-love, self-worth, self-value. I had to learn, it's a cliche, once you know who you are, then everything else falls in place. I remember I had a counselor in these confinements, and she had a famous saying, where your mind goes, your ass will follow. I'll never forget that. Where your mind goes, your ass will follow. And what does that mean? See, how I've applied that to my life, even after confinement. I really learned a lot after confinement. But while I was in confinement, you start to get a little more deeper into your connection with God. And when I talk about God, I am more talking about that inner voice in yourself. That inner voice inside of you telling you to either go right or left. And the choices that you make to go right or left are going to shape your future, your destiny, and what is going to happen to you down the road. So in these confined walls, I had to wake up at certain hours of the day. They wake you up at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, go eat breakfast. Then you had to come back. Some people come back, go to sleep. Some people come back and pray. Some people come back and they write. Some people come back and they plan. Whether it's positive or negative, some people come back and they do what they do. I can remember one instance when I was behind these confined walls one day after chow, breakfast, talking 6 o'clock in the morning. I had a habit of going back to sleep. But one day, I went back to sleep, and all of a sudden, I was awakened by a guy who started screaming. Why was he screaming? The guy started screaming because somebody ran up on him while he was sleeping, and they basically took a sharp object and started to penetrate his skin. So that kind of changed how I saw things. That kind of changed how I interacted with people. And it also made me realize how precious life is. Life is so precious that it can be taken away from us at any time, especially if we're dealing with the wrong people, especially if we're carrying the wrong energy, especially if we're not in the right mind state. So I make it a habit to be in the right mind state. I used to write rhymes about pain. I used to write rhymes about destruction. And believe it or not, a lot of those writings came true. These days, I write rhymes about prosperity and detailing and money and health and good fortune and understanding and love and freedom. But there was a time where I was complaining, not being thankful for the things that I had. There's a lot of cliches out here that tell you you should be thankful for what you have and always appreciate the small things. Well, they might be cliches, but what I've figured out is a lot of these cliches are there for a reason. The simple things in life are absolutely the most important because they lead you into a place of consistency. The mundane, the boredom. I heard somebody recently say that it's easy to defeat the people who run from boredom. So how do I keep going? There's a drive in me. There's been a drive in me since I was a kid. Since I was a young, single-digit boy. And that drive has led my mind to certain things, has led me to not being so lazy. So maybe it's a gift. I'm grateful for this gift. So what have I done to be consistent over the last 13 years? Definitely fitness. Fitness has been one of the big things that has helped me to not only overcome the issues in my mind, but to shape my body to stay fit. See, I can remember playing organized football, organized basketball. I was always somewhat of an athlete. Not exactly the top athlete, but I got a lot of recognition for touchdowns and three-pointers, dunks. But as you develop, you start to challenge yourself. You start to say, okay, I've done this kind of dunk. Let me see if I can do that kind of dunk. Okay, I've run this time. Let me see if I can beat that time. See, the human mind has a way of wanting to outdo itself once you start to love yourself more. once you start to develop, once you start to overcome, I started to spit flames, spit fire bars. And then I can remember losing rap battles. Then I can remember coming back and winning other rap battles. See, the challenge is always there, so it's like the progression in me, just the fire in me. I don't know what it is, honestly. I don't know what it is that keeps me pushing forward. I don't know exactly what it is that forces me to understand and realize that that wasn't good for me. That person wasn't good for me. That place isn't good for me. That food isn't good for me. Those clothes don't look good on me. That hairstyle, beard style is what I want. Maybe you can blame society. Maybe you can blame variety. Maybe you can blame just me having a yearning for wanting to explore the world. I think I've always had a yearning to conquer fear. From jumping off of a big tower. How big was that tower? It had to have been about 30 feet. I jumped off of a 30-foot tower when I was 8 or 9 years old. Just because. Just to say I've done it. Just for, I don't know, maybe the validation. I don't know. I think it's more to conquer. I have a spirit to conquer in my head. So the consistency, once I found a regimen, once I found discipline in these confinements, once I learned how valuable life is, once I learned how easy it is for life to be taken away from you, your freedom to be taken away from you, once I learned how valuable that is, I vowed to cherish that. I had to learn to cherish freedom. And I don't think you can cherish freedom unless your freedom is taken away from you. It kind of starts when you're a kid, you know? I can remember being disciplined by my mom and my stepdad. I got in trouble for like months at a time where they would take my TV and my game system for like 60 days. And then as I grew into a teenager, I had this mindset of, I know it all, I can do what I want. Until I couldn't. So I had to find a way to stay sane because there was no way I was going to go backwards. See, my will to not go backwards helps me to move forward. Or I should say, my will to move forward helps me to not go backwards. Did you catch that? So how do I have this drive? I can't even lie to you. I've had the unalive thoughts. I've had these thoughts. I've had thoughts of wanting to take other people out. I've had these thoughts. I've had these self-destructive thoughts. But my will and the punishment that came from not doing what I was supposed to do helped me to understand that that wasn't the way. So maybe I can accredit everything to awareness. My willingness to be aware helps me to never give up. My willingness for success helps me to never give up. See, you could take my home, you could take my car, you could take my family, you could take my friends, you could take my freedom, and I'll come out. I've come out of all of it. No mental health issues, no broken bones, some wounds, some scars, sure, but it all heals. Even a broken bone will heal. I've torn ligaments. It healed. Well, it had to be put back together. So I do have that gene. I have that thing in me to put myself back together. So that's what you have to do. You have to have that will to put yourself back together. You have to have that will to be broken into 1,000 pieces, shattered into 1,000 pieces like a broken vase. And to be willing to take every single piece, sort them out, figure out what goes where, and to put it back together so you can become whole again. A lot of people don't want to do that work. A lot of people want to stay shattered, because once you're shattered, you can become comfortable in that shatteredness, that brokenness. I just refuse to be broken. My ability, my will to be whole. My ability to be whole helps me to succeed in this life. So once you grasp that mindset, you'll never give up. Once you understand this is bigger than you, because, oh yeah, I'm selfish. I'm extremely selfish. But it's my selfishness that helps me to never give up. You have to be selfish to never give up. It will be totally selfless of you if you give up. Totally selfless. This is about you. Of course, you got your family. Of course, you have your loved ones. You have all of that. But you decide. This isn't about anybody else. This is about you and your choices. And your choices can either keep you broken, down, with the wrong people, going in the wrong places. There used to be this saying when I used to go to these outpatient groups. You have to change people, places, and things. Because everything else is a trigger warning. You have memories and feelings about people and the places that you've been in your life. You've created memories there. And with these memories come habits. And with these habits, they can either keep you stuck or progress you in your life. And I refuse to be stuck. I'm here to take everything back from what's been stolen from me through negative thinking, through low self-esteem. This stuff will steal from you. through low self-worth, through not valuing yourself, not valuing your mind, not valuing your body, not valuing your health, not valuing your space, not valuing your thoughts, not valuing your moves, not valuing your money, not valuing your family. This stuff will steal from you. I'm here to take it all back. That's why I never give up. I have the will to move forward. And you have to think positive like that. You can't say, I'm never going back. Because you're putting too much emphasis on the back. I'm always moving forward. I'm focused on what I see. Like Mac Miller said, leave all that crap in the rear view. Leave it all in the rear view. And once you get that vision, oh my God, I'm so glad I decided to take an investment on myself. It started with fitness. Actually, maybe it started with writing. Actually, maybe it started with valuing myself, knowing who I wanted in my space, what I wanted in my life. So you can start writing. I've written down 100 things that I wanted to do in my life, 100 things that I've wanted to have in my life. I've written down sequences that I wanted to play out in my life, how much money I wanted to have, who I wanted to impact, places I wanted to go, people I wanted to meet. I'm in some incredible circles these days. Some very high achieving circles. And when I think about it, it's surreal to me, considering the things that I used to do. People see me and they haven't seen me in a long time, and they're like, yo, you are different. And I don't really, it's kind of hard for me to notice that I'm different because I'm playing this out. Because I've always thought I was intelligent. I always thought I was cool. I always thought I was a go-getter. But there's levels. There's levels. You should refer to my video on how I turned a business into a 6-figure business. In that video, there's a lot of game. There's a lot of regimens that I talk about that can help you create a 6-figure business as well. Maybe I need to make a part 2. So why don't I give up? How do I keep moving forward? I think that once you get on this path, and once you acceptance, oh my goodness, that's what I've had to do. I've had to accept that people are going to judge me and laugh at me and talk about me and hate me. And I've also had to accept that people are going to see me and love me and appreciate me and give to me. Because what's true for one side of the coin is also true for the opposite. And once you accept that heaven and hell are going to happen no matter what, heaven and hell are going to move simultaneously, well, that's when you become a god. That's when you start ascending and you become a god and you start to learn. You start to learn that all things strengthen me through Christ. It's all in the mind. So start ascending. Start believing in you. Start believing in love. Start declaring that you are love. You are loved. You are loving. You receive love. Start declaring life. And when the death talk comes, start declaring life. Tell life who you are. Speak to God like, yo, what's up? What's happening in this? What you doing? Yo, what are you doing, yo? I thought we was about to do this. What we doing? I don't like this. You know, I'm not feeling this. I'm trying to do this. Start to speak. Speak the good word. Speak the truth. Once you accept, you stop hiding. Once you accept, sky's the limit. Nothing can stop you once you accept who you are. Once you declare who you are. The externals won't matter. The only thing that matters is what you got in here. So you gotta have heart. And then your fears just won't matter. You'll be like David, ready to take down Goliath. These giants won't have nothing on your arsenal. You got the tools. Now use them. Hey, just remember that being prepared eliminates fear, and being aware makes everything clear. It's Taj, the rapping detailer, and I'm out of here. Peace.